Hey, welcome again, gentlemen, ladies, to another video, man. Yeah, Kgosi FM, so Segongane live show. Sorry. Yeah, what I'm gonna cover today, baby, and that's why I get tongue-tied when I'm starting to do this thing because, God Almighty, as you can see, you guys will say, yeah, on my right. There's a little video playing. I shake it a little video. I think yeah. Blood Refir 2024, that is the commemoration of the Battle of Blood River. That was done in 1838, if I'm not mistaken. 1838, I'm going to come to those things a little bit later on. What is happening? And if you can look at the bottom, I'm saying the lie about that event and the lie that has been told to these kids and to these people all along ever since the beginning of this nonsense of Blood River up until today. They've been lied to by their own parents about the victory they had. We're going to debunk that shit. Yeah, today, we're going to debunk that nonsense. That's not true. That is a lie. An absolute lie, and I'll tell you why, and I'll give you facts of why is it a lie. How they defeated 3,500 Zulus with only 435 people. That's a lie. Lie. Before then, our sponsor, Rabo. Rabo. This show is brought to you by Segongane Medical Services and Clinic. They are a private clinic situated in number 70 Kgosietsile in Westview, Danville. They specialize on the following: primary health care, ailment diagnosis and treatment, including medication, wound care, family planning, well baby clinic, basic ultrasound, laboratory blood services, treatment of chronic illnesses, treatment and management of patients on ARVs, wellness screening, antenatal clinic, HIV services and counseling. They have a pharmacy on site and they are doing CCMDD services as well, OHS clinic, circumcision clinic and abortion services. Their cell phone number is 064 548 7176 or 071 422 8576. Again, the address is 70 Kgosietsile in Westview, Pretoria West in Danville. Cell phone number again is 064 548 7176 or 071 422 8576. All right, welcome back. Yeah, as I said, that's our sponsor for today. So on a medical service and clinic, like I always say, listen, about say medical aid, they only take cash, which is $350, and consultation, I want to get $350, and the medicine is separate. So, how talk at the car? That's when you can give you medicine. If you don't need medicine, hey, you're scot-free at $350. Unlike paying R150 to a person saying including medication, but then he gives you a Panado and Allergex fail. So, Ronamo, you get a choice. How can you do a medication or not? But remember, we don't do scripts because we got a pharmacy on site. Yeah, so Bachakele 702 Kgosietsile in Westview, Danville, Pretoria West, and you get the very best service. Believe you me. If you don't believe me, go to Google Segongane Medical Services, come calling, and then you will see all the ratings and like 5 stars. And our comments are very beautiful as well. So please come try us. What one you'll never regret. Yeah. Now back to this thing. Okay, Koskolo, now when I was growing up, I did the Battle of Blood River as part of my history major. Koskolo, go from standard 5, 6, kind of study grades, it was standard, so it was standard 5, standard 6, standard 7, standard 8, until matric. We covered this thing of Blood River, yes. And what you see here, that video, they are commemorating this year, that they're commemorating this Blood River thing. And I'm going to give you a little background on what they say happened, the Battle of Blood River, which is a lie. And they've been telling themselves this lie forever, and their kids grow up in this lie, and doesn't really make sense or any practicality. And it's just racist white people who sees themselves as still superior and white in this country of ours. But Ilemo is invaders, but then they're refusing to leave. And now they've got this nonsense. Right now we are busy commemorating reconciliation. We are always trying to bring peace, olive branch, oh, forgive us, let's be together. Whereas they are sitting now. This is 2024. Can you see this? It's 2024, blood refill. Those flags are illegal. Those are illegal flags that we see there. They are illegal flags, but hey, they are flying them up high this year. Proudly so. 30 years after Reba Forgiver, Reba talking about Pele in this country with us without anything. But then here they are again. So it's a spit on our face. It's a spit on every black person's face to see this nonsense happening. Whereas we changed that name from Dingaans Day, remember, to the day of reconciliation. They changed reconciliation to the day of the bride day. Then now, they are now doing this thing. Now, that shows you are on your own, black man. Now, let's go back to this thing. Remember that, go through this one. This one came a tweet that I got airing in the vow December 16th, 1938. This is the vow. That is the vow. Here we stand before the holy God of heaven and earth to make a vow to him that if he will protect us and deliver our enemy into our hands, we will spend a day and a date every year as a day of thanksgiving, like a Sabbath in his honor, and that we will build a house to his honor where it pleases him, and that we will also tell our children that they should share with us in it in a memorial also for the generations to come, for the honor of his name to be glorified by giving the fame and honor and glory to him. So that is a vow that people from Europe come to this country and they vow to their God, because I don't believe there's a God in heaven that made me as dark as I am and made you as dark as you are. That will be told by other people that you should give me this enemy in my hands, and we must kill them. We must kill them. And the only thing I'm gonna give you as a prize, you're gonna build you a church, is there. Apparently, Peter Marisbeck was commemorated and opened last time. I don't know when exactly. I was not very so much interested in this nonsense. And they built him a church. Now let's go back to the story of the Blood River. History about it says one. Remember, the English went first, not even the Afrikaners. The English went first to KZN, right? They went to KZN and they met Shaka Zulu. 17 something. They met Shaka Zulu, and Shaka Zulu, if you watch the movie Shaka Zulu, I don't know if it's true or not, but it gives a little bit of background what's happening. Shaka Zulu gave them a piece of land for them to stay there and blah, 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 blah. And then Dingaan didn't like it, the bride of Shaka. They didn't like this one, people, because they could see they were manipulating Shaka into doing whatever they want. They sent delegates to Cape Town. They were mistreated. They came back, and they gave the report of this. And some people were not they were not happy about this thing, because these people were mistreated by the English and whatever. Fine. So now comes the Shaka Zulu was murdered by the same Dingaan and other brothers. So they overturned, they made a coup, Dingaan became king, and then he invited all of them. All the English were there to a feast. This is the history, the story we got. He invited the whole of them to come for a feast. When they got there and when they were drunk, seriously drunk, he said, Bulala Abataga, to kill the witches in English. And then that's when these people died. And then Sir Benjamin de Urban, the one who was named Durban, named after him, de Urban, it's like D with a little comma Urban. Apparently was the only one who managed to escape at Saba, and then he made it as far as Cape Town. When he got there, he told them, listen, all the white cases then are dead. How did the Afrikaner now took that over? I have no idea. The British, I don't know if they've sent soldiers to come and kill us again and whatnot, doesn't matter. So, now Peter Retief goes to KZN. Now, these are the Boers running away from the English, remember. Running from the English, coming down to KZN. When they get there, they found Dingaan. Dingaan in Yorai. These people are here in our land illegally. They gotta go as well. They gotta go. And that's when the Battle of Blood River started. Now, according to the Afrikaner history that they have been telling their kids all along, there was like 435 people, if I'm not mistaken. Because before it was 3 something, but now all of a sudden it's like 400 something, so it doesn't matter, the number. The number was less. And they had a 35 lager. Lager key, those, if you can see on this video, you see those little wagons. Those wagons that are called lagers. Apparently there were 35 of those, right? 35 of those lagers, and they made a shape of a half moon. If you know half moon, the dome and the street light at the bottom, right? So they made a lager, something like, because they heard that the Zulus are coming to kill them because they didn't want any white person in KZN. I wish they would still be the same now. Shit. So they made that thing, and what happened was, when the Zulus came, apparently there was 2,000 Zulus, but now the number has gone up to 3.5 Zulus who died, and their blood stained the blood river and made the blood river to be red, and that's why it was called the Battle of Blood River Isindlwane. As in, I don't know if the same as like I think it was Isindlwane or something like that. Yes, Jacob Zuma did mention that one time on one of his speeches. Now, my dilemma comes here. Okay, now we have 350 people with old guns, right, against 3,500 Zulus with those short spears and bloodthirst in their mouth, in their eyes. The very same soldiers that are trained by Shaka Zulu himself, that knows how to conquer a place. Remember that horn thing that they used to do to encampment, and then they lock the enemy inside, and then they yes. So they knew that. They knew all the tactics. I remember Nakutogo school, I was taught how Shaka Zulu was the brilliant military. Napoleon Bonaparte took some of his tactics to apply in Europe, by the way. So according to the history, it's like the Zulus came and then they shot them all and they killed 3.5 of them. Yeah, that is what they've been telling their kids all along. All along. But then here comes the kicker. Now let's go back to history when the first whites came into KZN. When the British came to KZN, they met Shaka Zulu, right? And what happened was, Shaka Zulu was taught how to ride a horse. According to the movie, I don't believe, he was taught how to use a gun. His people knew how to use guns. Those guns, and remember, the old guns was like this. There was those old rifles that you need to put, literally, you put gunpowder in it, right? You cut little gunpowder powder, you put inside, and then you put a little balls, like a little steel ball inside, and then you cock it with a long steel rod, then you shoot, right? And then you repeat the same thing over and over again. Now, Shaka Zulu didn't know that. They didn't know the sound of the cannon, that they had an old cannons. The same cannon which you put gunpowder, you cock it, and then you put that big steel ball and cock it, and then boom. So people thought this shame there was just a thunder, because the sounds sound like thunder. We didn't know guns that back in that time. I don't blame them. Fine. So according to Borne, this the history that they told us, these people. Okay. Now comes Tabahorano. These people knew. The Shaka soldiers, they knew to use those guns. They were used to the sound. They know how those guns worked. And technology did not advance that much from that time of Shaka Zulu to the time of Dingaans. It was like few years in between. So there was no new imports of guns that were automatic machine guns that didn't have to be cocked and run. It was still the very same old technology of that moment, of that time. That's the first lie. That's the first debunked thing. You must have your idea. Can really that kind of a gun shoot 3,500 people and they all died? Hey? Number one. Number two. So they knew. So, and Dingaans obviously knew their weaknesses. Dingaans didn't care who those were the English and these are Afrikaners. He knew those were two white people. That's it. He didn't care what language they spoke. So he knew whatever those ones first came with, the very same ones, the same thing. They're going to bring the same thing as well. So the preparation for that was there already. I so to believe, because I don't think we're that dumb enough not to prepare for an enemy that we know is going to come. Fine. Now comes that day of the battle. So now imagine this scenario. They build a half moon lager. It's there, on the banks of the Orange River. That Blood River. Now comes 3,500 people running. Your guns were so superior, your God was superior, and you know what? Your God is so tough. That is a lie. And you managed to kill 3,500 people with those kind of guns. You put a ball, you put gunpowder, you put the balls, you cock, you shoot one shoot, you put a gunpowder, a ball, you cock, you shoot. In between that all preparation, how many Zulus could have jumped in that lager and killed you? Like, I don't know, let's just sit down and think about this thing. Why is this lie being told? Because it's what they are holding on to as a memory for themselves. And they believe that they are God, not my God, not the God I pray to, not Jesus or Shem Kisho, not the God I pray to, but they are God who gave them other people's land. They believe that God gave them that land, and hey, here they are. They even build him a church, and they will do this, like they say, we will commemorate this thing, will be told to our children. It's a lie. And by the way, Sabbath is Saturday. That's another debunk. Saturday. Sabbath is not on Sunday like you people they know now. Sabbath start on Friday until Saturday late. Friday 6 o'clock and until Saturday 6 o'clock in the evening. That's like the rest of. So I don't know, but I know they go to church on Sunday, but we got Sabbath heavy. You understand? So that is just a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie they've been telling themselves all along. It's a lie that they've been telling their kids up until today. There is no way in heaven that you can defeat 3,500 people with those primitive weapons in this country. It's a lie. It's a lie. Unless they were having a machine guns, then hey, they did it. But it's a lie. But you all know Afrikaners lie. Everybody who speaks Afrikaans in this country is a liar to a core. He's a fucking racist. They don't care about anybody but themselves. They don't care about anything but themselves. Up to going to build, to go to an extent of having, of going to an extent but create a lie like this and spit on our face like that. The so-called reconciliation day was supposed to have been left by Dingaans Day. That was the victory for Dingaan. That's a lie. Remember, history was written by them, not by us. History was written by. I asked this so-called professor one day, how history has said it? Who wrote that history, Morena? Because none of you came and consulted to us and asked us, guys, what do you think happened actually by your own perspective as black people? What do you think happened in this country? No, none of you did. You wrote history from your own perspective. It's the same as the hunter and the lion story. If the lion can speak, that lion will tell you the very nice story about what really happened in that hunt. But because the writer is the hunter, he will write how brave he was. He will write how he conquered the lion. He'll tell you all these magnificent things that glorifies him. But the lion can tell a different story from that. Okay, yeah. So that is the thing. That's what we are dealing with in this country. So anybody who's going to see this video, like in the US, whatever, Elon Musk himself knows about these people. He knows about these people exactly. He knows what kind of people are we dealing with in this country. He knows. He can be stubborn, just not to listen, because he knows his own family benefited from hardships of black labor and black cheap labor that they imported to their father's mines. He knows that. He knows that his money spending now in the US at the moment, trying to build rockets and stuff, those come from the backs of black South Africans who died in his father's mines in this country. That's the kind of people who are dealing with. Let me just show you another tweet. Listen to this. This is NS Roots, the stupid little boy who is so disrespectful that he went to parliament and disrespected the parliamentarians and they let him go. Who would have thought that fighting for freedom in a post-94 South Africa would be such an uphill battle? Freedom from what? Freedom from what? You people got it all. They got everything. Everything, once again, it was given to them. It was said they were the bosses of this country. So freedom for you to go and build a little white enclave like Orania or whatever in this country again after 94. These are the kind of people you are dealing with in this country. Useless people that they can't do nothing for themselves instead of other than using other people to accomplish their goals. Because this country stood like this not because of a white person who was doing labor, but because they had cheap labor and our grandfathers who were forced into mines in this country and died paupers. And they became rich. Exploitation of a black person was done by these motherfuckers from the beginning up until today. Listen to this one. The same nonsense are telling white people to in Africa to go back to Europe is patriotism, but telling black people in Europe to go back to Africa is racism. Of course it's racism. Who are you to tell people to go back wherever? They didn't invade Europe. They didn't invade Europe. They went there because they wanted a better life for themselves. You invaded Africa to take and pillage and destroy and maim and displace and just make our lives miserable. They go there because you effed up this continent for them. So all African countries are in poverty, not because of their leaders, but because of the systematic thing that you've created. Your European leader countries, France and the rest of them, are standing because of minerals from this continent. You understand? They are doing that because of that. So this guy is an outmost racist. One of the biggest racists you can ever have in this country. And he's the CEO of AfriForum, one of the other racist organizations in the country. They never call these people back. But Hari people must go back to Africa. Which people? Because and for Bon, at least we know they can, they can't even go back to Holland, by the way, because they don't want them, by the way. The Dutch doesn't want these people because they know. The English don't want these people. No wonder Australia opened up a border. They say they must come because they were saying they were refugees. When they got there, they were like, go back. Shit. Now look at this one. See? She says, may we never forget, it's not the size of the army but that counts, but it's the size of the God you worship. Who the hell is this God of them that lets them come and destroy people in their own country? I don't want that kind of a God to come and tell me what to do. He can go to hell. I don't understand why should we characterize God as this parent with favorites. What is that? He would rather destroy other people in his name than to make other people happy. That is so good. Whenever they speak about the Jews conquering this, I don't believe that nonsense because I don't believe there is that kind of a God that is that cruel to really do such a thing to people. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But you're dealing here with racists, self-centered racists that doesn't care about anybody else but themselves. Self-centered racists, but they think they're much better than anybody else. That is why they don't even have, they've got the gall to celebrate this nonsense. Blood River. And to do this in a country that has been fighting battles, a bloody history that we had in this country, and then they still think this is culture. Hence they are fighting the Bella Bill so because they know if the Bella Bill comes, this nonsense will die. Which is actually Nako. It's time for it to die. It's disgusting to say the least. If you're part of this group and you call yourself an Afrikaner who's proud in culture, and your culture is based on hate, and your culture is based on segregation, your culture is based on apartheid, then you are far subhuman than you call us subhumans. Because one of them this morning said to me, I'm a subhuman. Imagine. A whole Christian, that's because my tweet handle Christ is king, but the Christian, I never said I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. I'm a follower of Christ. I don't follow your God that told you, go to Africa, those things I made, they're subhuman. Go and destroy them and take over their land. And pray to me and tell me, listen, Mudimu, if you give us these people in our hands, we will build you a stupid church. As if God dwells in a building. That's another lie. They forget just because the kingdom of God is inside you, not in a building made of stone, not in a palace made of bricks and mud, but it's inside you. They came got the very same gospel to try to convert us, to make us compliant to their own rules. Leopold II, King Leopold of Belgium, told his missionaries, these people don't preach them about God, don't convert them to Christianity. Just give them their verses, they'll make them compliant. Verses like slaves obey your masters on earth than like you obey your master in heaven. Slaves, do not gather riches for yourself on earth, but gather them in heaven. Whereas Bondia getting rich by our own minerals. He was exporting rubber or everything that Congo could offer, that nonsense, to Europe and made himself rich and Europeans rich, but still making people, these same white people, to come here and tell you, hey, you do not, it's very difficult for a rich man to enter heaven than a camel can enter through an iron needle. Pacifying you, trying to indoctrinate you, you must never think of best for you as an African person. You made yourself poor as a black man because of the very same Bible that does not even say that. But because we were Christians, we were Christians, but from them making us Christians, we had to believe and say, oh yes, oh, I might just remain as black and poor as I am today because the Bible says so. Because the Bible says so. Anyway, unfortunately, shame. I wanted to just debunk that lie. It's a lie. There was no Battle of Blood River that people won. Zulus won that war. But because the history writers are white, they will never tell the truth. They will always say, oh, they won. Hey, think about it. 3.5 people, 3,500 people, bloodthirsty, elite soldiers of Shaka Zulu, who conquered the whole of KZN and made one Zulu nation. They were defeated by a mere white who had He doesn't even know how they attack. Born. The English knew the attacks of Shaka Zulu. They knew his formation and everything else. These ones were Boers under Peter. They were poor. They were poor Afrikaners who ran away from the English, from Texas of the English and everything. So they didn't have much anything when they go to KZN. So how in Kgosi are they going to defeat people like that? Another lie. You need to think as a black person as well about how does this really happen and how is it really possible? Don't tell me. It's not like, well, you see, the English were more educated, the English were more sophisticated, the English were more advanced. You know, they had good clothes. I mean, look at this picture here and tell me, do you see this person really as a person that will defeat somebody? Look at that picture, just so I can zoom it in. Look at the way he's dressed. Look at how he looks like. And you tell me this person really had can be able to defeat that, and they, yeah. Anyhow, your comments below, that will be very great. Tell me what you think about this. Is this a lie that has been fed to people all these years? Or what do you think? Tell me below in the comments. I don't care if you're white or green. Talk to me. What do you think about this? This is the Kgosi on live show. I'm signing out. And then please don't forget to, if you're new here in this channel, welcome. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this content. And talk to me. Okay? My numbers are there. 0645476. Talk to me. Do that. Sharp. I love you. Have a good Christmas. God bless you. And please beware of the lies told by those that were not even there. All right? Bye.